What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Roman's Creative Academy. As always, I'm Mike. Jay.
And I'm Mike.
I got him for sure. Today's video, we're going to be focused on what me and Mike really do specialize on. I'm sure our audience here already knows that we specialize in creative financing, but we get a little bit more niche than that, and that's BRRRRing without the banks.
So first and foremost, everybody who doesn't know what the term BRRRRing means, right? Because in real estate, everybody likes to throw fancy terms around just things, right? So BRRRRing, B-R-R-R, right? R, there's 4 R's. It means buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. It's an old method of just buying a distressed home, fixing it up, renting it out, and then going and get your money back by refinancing the house, right? But people had to put a fancy name on it, right? A lot of times, and especially in today's market, it doesn't really work well anymore, right? You have to think about it. You're going to be pulling out a ton of cash against the home at high interest rates. Your payment is going to be higher. A lot of times this is what's happening to people is their payments are higher with the high interest rates than what you can even rent it for. So they're underwater, right? So it's really hard to do these types of deals. But the whole concept behind the BRRRR method is that you are buying a property, and when you refinance it, you're getting all of your money back and sometimes even more. So what people like to say is they got a cash flowing rental for free because they put their money out on the street, they go to the bank, and then after it's rehab, they refinance it for more than they've put into it, and they get all their cash back plus some. So that's the job in the name of the game, right? You want to maximize your return on investment.
So exactly, if it's not working well right now in this market, how are we doing it? How are we BRRRRing, first and foremost, without a bank?
Right? Because in the BRRRR method, you need to refinance, so you need a bank, right? So what do we mean by BRRRRing without the bank, Jay? Kind of like explain that.
So we love to couple creative financing, shocker, with rent to own. And so that allows us to BRRRR without using a bank, meaning we buy the house on some sort of seller financing or creative financing, and then whatever we put into the house, the entry cost of the home to be able to purchase it.
So closing costs, money to seller, back to payments, whatever that may be.
All accounted for in our RCA calculator. So if you haven't checked that out, check the link below. But we take that sum of money and we make sure that we account to getting that with our rent-to-own tenant buyers as a down payment.
So typically when me and Jay buying properties, we want to be all in for no more than 5 to 10% of the purchase price. Now, instead of going and get a normal renter in there where you're only going to get a security deposit, with a rent-to-own tenant buyer, you're collecting a 5 to 10% down payment of the price you're selling it to them for, which is obviously more than we bought it for. So let's just say, I'm going to give like a clean-cut example, right? So when we buy a property that's $100,000, we have $10,000 out of pocket between closing costs and money to the seller. Now we turn around and we find a rent-to-own tenant family where we're going to sell it to them for the future value of $150,000, and they want to give us, 10% down. Well, that means that we are collecting 15% or $15,000 from them. So we put $10,000 out, but we got $15,000 back in, meaning that we got all of our money back plus some, and we have an infinite return on investment. And that is the whole point and purpose of the BRRRR method.
Now, that is the purpose, but on the flip side, we don't have to worry about those interest rates because if we're not using the bank, we're not getting a new payment. And so our rental rates are going to work each time because we're paying at the rates that we got the creatively, right? So I do want to point that out because a lot of people, yes, you get your money back, but also the rental rates work for us versus other people who are using the BRRRR method or who are using, private money or hard money, and then they have to refinance. That whole refinance piece is really what throws those numbers out of whack.
Yep, exactly. So because we're able to get those interest rates and we're able to get our money back, we never really have to go to a bank for either the purchase or for the sale or for the refinance.
Now, who are investors that would benefit from this strategy? And I want to say investors, obviously like us, that want to create cash flow, right? But also have in the back of their mind that eventually you are selling this house, right? But those checks that you get when you sell the house is a tool for you to keep rolling into your next asset, into your next property, right?
Yep.
So thinking forward. And what I like to say is within our portfolio, we have a well-rounded portfolio. So yes, we have, rent to owns, but we have other strategies too, forms of long-term rental forms, right? So your normal long-term rental, we also have done Section 8 that's in our portfolio,
Yep.
right? It's nice, well-rounded. So some regulations happen or things change, right? Our whole portfolio doesn't go kaput. Right?
Yep, exactly. And guys, like for investors we get approached all the time, well, don't you want to keep these properties for 30 years? I'll be honest with you. I turn around and I ask them, well, how much are you cash flowing per door? 100, 200, 300. Well, I'm cash flowing $500 to $1,000 a month with my rent to owns, right? And then they're cashing me out, which I'm only going to roll into buying more properties and it's just compounding itself. So me and Jay, we don't really care about keeping properties for 30 years, right? Like that's not the point of real estate. The point of real estate is to continuously keep flipping the money and flowing the money into other investments and to continuously grow it, right? So while we have these properties as rent to owns, we're getting all of our money back that we put out. So now we're made whole again and can go buy it to get more properties, right? On top of that, we're making well above your average cash flow for residential real estate. And then when we go and sell it, right, to the rent-to-own buyer, we now have money to go play with to go buy even more properties.
Yep. Basically making our money work for us in
Multiple
different ways, right? So you're probably thinking, Mike, Jay, but how do I know if the creative deal that I'm going to buy is going to work well with my rent-to-own? We got you. So on February 27th, we are hosting a free webinar, right? We only have 100 spots. And as of right now, I believe the last time I checked, we only have 7 spots left.
We have 93 people who have signed up for this because everybody wants to figure out what makes a deal or no deal, right? So on February 27th at 7 p.m. EST, we'll be holding this webinar. Make sure that you go sign up. The link will be in the show notes below.
And because this is such a hot topic and you guys are all loving it, if you sign up, right, but you have to sign up, you will get the recording. So if you can't make it, you'll get the recording. If you don't get a spot in the meeting, you'll get the recording. So sign up.
Yep, 100%. And remember, if anybody comes and you get a seat and you stay to the end, me and Jay are giving away the chance to win a free 30-minute consultation call with us where you can ask us anything that you want. It's your call for your benefit.
We're super excited for this. So please, please, please come show your smiling face. We'd love to see you there. And as always, if you have any questions, let us know. Obviously, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Support us like we support you with all the information we give out, and we'll see you next week. See ya.